Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for January 16th, 2014. And the show starts off with Dixie Carter, Spud, and Magnus. And Magnus says it's out with the old and in with the new. And he presents AJ Styles' title to Dixie. And Dixie brings out all the guys who made this possible to thank them. Bad Influence, Bromans, Bobby Roode, Lady Tapa, and Gail Kim. Everybody who helped Magnus win the title. And she introduces Ethan Carter III, and he comes to the ring, and he's about to cut a promo, but then the lights go out, and we see Sting in the audience with the baseball bat, and he says that TNA is a house divided, and there's a group of guys who don't like the way Dixie Carter's running TNA. So, Samoa Joe, James Storm, Gunner, ODB, Eric Young, Joseph Park all hit the ring, and a huge brawl ensues. Everybody's just fighting. And this was really cool stuff. I really liked the way they started the show. And then Rockstar Spud comes out and says, if you guys want to fight so bad, we're going to do a 12-man tag match. So you got Bad Influence in the Bromans and Lady Tapa and Zema Ion versus Storm, Gunner, Joseph Park, Eric Young, and Samoa Joe. I'm probably forgetting somebody else here. But they have the 12-man tag match, which was pretty good. A lot of action here. Lady Tapa pounces the shit out of ODB. I thought she legit injured her. Joseph Park gets busted open, so he goes off. He turns into Abyss again. And he goes off on everybody, including his own team members. And finally, Samoa Joe chokes out Christopher Daniels to win the match. Chris Sabin sees Velvet Sky talking to Austin Aries backstage. So he goes up to Velvet and tells her they need to talk in the ring. So they come out, and I can't even remember what they talked about, but Austin Aries comes out, and he wants a rematch for the X Division title next week, and he wants Velvet Sky in a cage at ringside so she can't interfere. And Sabin says no, but Velvet says she'll do it, and if Sabin can't beat Austin Aries, then she'll find someone else to spend her time with. This lasted way too long. I do not care about this feud. I don't think anyone does. It's really uncomfortable, actually. And I think Sabin's stupid for even doing this storyline with his girlfriend, knowing the history of wrestlers and their girlfriends being involved in storylines and how that actually affects the relationship. But yeah, this was just crap. Simon Diamond approaches Samuel Shaw backstage, and he congratulates him on his victory over North Fernum, and he says, you're going to do alright here in TNA, but that whole thing with Christy Hemme, don't pay any attention to her, just focus on your opponent. And Samuel Shaw attacks him, he beats him down and says, never mention her name. And he rips off Simon's shoe, and he smells it, and then beats him with his own shoe. And I have no idea what they're doing with this guy. He's supposed to be like Dexter, but instead of killing people, he's just fucking weird. But he did attack a road agent here, so wouldn't he be fired for that? I also want to mention that TNA did dedicate this show to Mae Young, who recently passed away. And it is a huge loss for pro wrestling, but she did live a long life, so that's something to celebrate. And she gave damn near all of it to pro wrestling. My favorite moment will always be Bubba Ray powerbombing her through the table, and that right there just shows how tough she was. So yeah, Mae Young has passed away, and it sucks, but I think it's really classy of TNA to dedicate the show to her. Then we see EC3 backstage trying to talk himself up to prepare for his match against Sting, and Magnus shows up and they're not really getting along. And then we get Bully Ray versus Mr. Anderson. This was bad. It was supposed to be like a hardcore match, but it was just a bad match. I mean, everything from Bully Ray turning the chair around when he knew it was going into his face, to Anderson bringing out the fake guardrail, which he charges Bully Ray with. Bully kicks the guardrail and breaks one of the bars, yet the announcers keep talking about how it's a steel guardrail, even after they saw it break. And then Anderson hits the mic check onto the guardrail. Bully Ray kicks out. He hits a Finley roll onto a table. Bully Ray kicks out. And then Bully Ray brings out the lighter fluid, and he's going to set Anderson on fire, but Anderson hits the mic check again, and he goes to set the table on fire, He's going to put Bully Ray through a flaming table, and Bully Ray hits the pile driver on Anderson and gets the win. And they keep teasing this damn lighter fluid, somebody's getting set on fire spot. Somebody better get set on fire if they're going to keep doing this. But I can't really blame Bully Ray here, because of all people, would you want Mr. Anderson putting you through a flaming table? Hell no. So Kurt Angle is pissed. He's running around backstage and he grabs Al Snow and he says, "Who told you to do that?" And like he doesn't know. I mean, who do you think it was? And Al Snow's like, "Please, Kurt, I have a family." So Angle comes out and he calls out Dixie Carter. I guess he figured it out. And he says Dixie went too far. She involved his family, and Dixie says that she was just trying to protect Kurt, because if he was there, he would have stood up for AJ and he would have got hurt. And he's not smart enough to make these decisions on his own. So she had to protect Kurt from himself. And she says that he shouldn't wrestle in this condition. So his cage match against Bobby Roode, she's going to postpone until next week. But it's all filmed on the same night, so it's not really postponed. And she says that tonight, if anybody gets involved in the Sting EC3 match, they will get fired. Angle says if she wants to fire him, then fire him. And she calls out security, but Bobby Roode runs down and hits Angle with the AA into the neck breaker, which they're calling the Roode Bomb, and then security takes Angle away. Gail Kim and Lady Tapa attack Madison Rayne backstage. Then Dixie Carter tells Earl Hebner that he should take the night off. She doesn't want him being the referee for the main event, and they're teasing a special referee. I assume it's Rockstar Spud. Then we get Madison Rayne versus Gail Kim for the Knockouts title, and the match was okay. Lady Tapa starts choking Madison Rayne on the outside. The ref sees this. He doesn't disqualify Gail, he just kicks Lady Tapa out. And Madison Rayne hits some weird knee to the back of the head move on Gail for the win, so she becomes the new Knockouts champion. And I guess they're going to do Lady Tapa versus Madison Rayne at some point, with Lady Tapa winning the Knockouts title, and then it's going to be Lady Tapa versus Gail Kim. At least that's where I think they're going. Sting cuts a promo and says that he doesn't want anyone else suffering, so he doesn't want anybody coming to his aid tonight. Then Dixie is talking to the Wolves, the American Wolves, and she says, "I'm really looking forward to your tryout match." And they say, "Well, I think we're way past the trial match. We signed our contracts this morning." And they give her this folder, and she opens it, and she's like, "What the hell? A new TNA investor?" So I was thinking about this whole new TNA investor thing they're going with here, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to assume it's Jeff Jarrett, and the whole Jeff Jarrett quit TNA thing was just to screw with everybody, but I don't really think it's going to be Jeff Jarrett, and I wouldn't really mind too much if it was, but I have always preferred heel Jeff Jarrett, and the Wolves are clearly baby faces. But the storyline does have potential, as long as it's not somebody like Hulk Hogan or Eric Bischoff. And I know it's not going to be those guys, especially since Hulk Hogan is working with WWE and is probably going to appear at WrestleMania 30. But as long as it's not some old-ass fucking guy like those two, then this could actually have some potential. I don't want to keep harping on the new investor storyline. But I'm trying to think of somebody besides Jeff Jarrett who they could bring in who would also be affiliated with the Wolves. And the only person I can come up with is Jim Cornette. And even though that would be awesome, and I guess technically he would be considered an old-ass guy. Not quite as old as Hogan and Bischoff, but he's still in his 50s. But that would be awesome. I just don't see that ever happening after all the crap he talks. But it's EC3 versus Sting. And Rockstar Spud is the special referee. So of course he doesn't make any 3 counts. Sting gets pissed off. He grabs his hand, tries to force him to count. Magnus runs out and pulls Spud out of the ring, takes his shirt off, and he's wearing a referee shirt. And EC3 rolls up Sting. Magnus makes the count. EC3 wins the match. And afterwards Sting says, "Magnus, I'll do anything to fight you." And Magnus is walking towards the ring, and as he's getting in, someone must have said something to him, because you can hear Magnus say, "Shut up, bitch." And he tells Sting that he will give him a title shot, but if Sting loses, he gets to rip up his contract, and Sting is done. And that was the end of the show. I thought Magnus was great here. I thought it was a pretty good show. I really like the feel of it, and TNA is doing this whole brand new era. And it honestly does feel like a brand new era. They've gotten rid of a lot of the old guys. I see Sting losing the match next week, so he'll probably be gone for a while. At least a while, I hope. And it feels like they really are planning to push a lot of younger talent. They brought in the American Wolves. This is good stuff for TNA. So I did think this was a pretty good show, despite that Bully Ray Anderson match. That was bad. But anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. James Storm, Gunner, ODB, Eric Young, Joseph Park all hit the ring, and a huge brawl ensues. Everybody's just fighting. And this was really cool stuff. I really liked the way they started the show. And then Rockstar Spud comes out and says, if you guys want to fight so bad, we're going to do a 12-man tag match. So you got Bad Influence in the Bromans and Lady Tapa and Zima Ion versus Storm, Gunner, Joseph Park, Eric Young, and to Dixie. And Dixie brings out all the guys who made this possible to thank them. Bad Influence, Bromans, Bobby Roode, Lady Tapa, and Gil Kim, everybody who helped Magnus win the title. And she introduces Ethan Carter III, and he comes to the ring, and he's about to cut a promo, but then the lights go out, and we see Sting in the audience with a baseball bat, and he says that TNA is a house divided, and there's a group of guys who don't like the way Dixie Carter's running TNA. So, Samoa Joe. Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for January 16th, 2014. And the show starts off with Dixie Carter, Spud, and Magnus. And Magnus says it's out with the old and in with the new. And he presents AJ Styles' title